okay, I have been debating on how I was going to start this video, how I was going to make this video. This has been such a long time coming, for a year and a half at least. We've had some bumps in the road. I've been teasing that I've been working on another business, another company, and some of you were very sly. You knew exactly what I was up to. Some of you guessed it very early on, but I've been really anxious to talk about this because even though I've been very clearly stating that it's not a makeup line, it's not a makeup company, it's still very much an ultra creative process that I have been 100% hands-on with from the start. And so that's what was important to me, is that, someone else wasn't developing something that artistically and creatively I was working on. But if you follow me on Instagram and my other socials, you already know I did post a sneak peek last Friday to the socials, but I am launching a home fragrance company. We are called Parlour Candle. So candles are our first installment, but we do have a lot more in the works in the future. We basically started this out by creating a core collection of 5 scents, which are our permanent scents. But for now, I'm just going to chat a little bit about how this came to be and a little bit about our fragrances. I'm going to talk about the full core collection a little later on in the video, but here is an example of one of our candles. This is our 16-ounce Ultra Flora. This is handmade. Like, we hand make these vessels. They are hand casted, hand poured. We're not going out to a wholesale supplier and buying these. They are handmade from the vessel up. Hand poured, coconut soy wax, cotton wicks, custom blended fragrances. These are not single origin. You can buy anywhere fragrances. You will not find these scents on the market. So each vessel has a different color. That was Ultra Flora. This one's Husk. Husk is my personal favorite. It looks so luxe if you have like creamy kind of chocolates or even like olive greens in your home. So like I said, I'm going to go over the fragrances a little later on in the video, but I kind of wanted to talk about the name Parlour Candle and how this all came about. Some of you knew exactly what I was working on, basically because you know the people in my life and you know the people who inspire me. So let's talk about how the name Parlour Candle came to be. I grew up in a very old home. When we moved in, it was over 100 years old, now probably nearing like 130 years old. And when we moved in, there was a very formal sitting parlor. And so when it was shown to us, that's how it was described. And we just always called it the parlor. It was the parlor in our home. And eventually when I grew up and moved out, my mom kind of turned it into her creative space. And so she's always been very creative. She likes to work on different things, and she specifically made and developed candles for 13 plus years. So very familiar with fragrance and blending. And one day I was over, and I feel like it was actually, I know it had to have been our bone vessel that I just saw she had made. Like, she literally had made these. And I was like, okay, very demure, very chic. What's going on with this? It was just literally something she was, just kidding around with, just making for fun. And I was like, you know what? Like, in this very oversaturated market, the candle industry, I just didn't see designs like that. It's like a typical glass vessel. I feel like 90% of the time when you go to buy a candle. So it kind of like sparked an idea in my head. And I was like, you know what? I was like, these are spectacular. Give me 20 of them. You know what I mean? So got a small team together in, I want to say it was October of 2023, because it's definitely been a little over a year and a half that this has just been in the works. And it's important to know, like, I don't have investors. I don't have anyone who approached me about, starting a company from the ground up. This has all been funded, by me. So, I want to say it was October of 2023. started brainstorming and, you know, calling and working with different fragrance suppliers. It was very important, obviously, that we took the non-toxic route, found the right suppliers. After we found the suppliers, you know, it was important to us that these were not just single origin scents. We wanted them to be delicately layered, very complex. And so we started the blending process. And I honestly don't know what took longer. If it was narrowing down the design of our vessels, the color of our vessels, or the scent blending. I mean, it's just like, I'm going back thinking like, okay, when I started this, I wasn't expecting this much to go into it, but I wanted to do it right and I wanted it to be beautifully presented. So it took us well over a year to fully develop our core collection. It might have taken a little bit longer because it was important to us that you just cannot find scents like this anywhere else. You know, this isn't like a traditional apple pie candle or pumpkin spice. When I say that these are extremely complex, I mean it. These are not just your typical run-of-the-mill notes. So the name Parlour Candle literally came from my childhood home parlor, where, you know, I have amazing memories with my family and my mother, and then just knowing that she turned it into this ultra creative space where, you know, she did a lot more than just, you know, fragrance and candles. She also plays the piano. At one point, our piano was in there. So it's just kind of like this space in my childhood home that has such an like artistic aura about it, an artistic sense of expression. And that's exactly where the name came from. So we found some amazing suppliers. Of course, we wanted to take the non-toxic route, and we began developing the core collection. And what we wanted was not just single origin scents. So oftentimes, you know, even like your bigger name brand luxe candle companies will just go to these specific suppliers and have them develop a fragrance, and then that's it. Boom, they decide if they like it and it goes in the candle and then it's shipped out. We found these suppliers, they had these fragrances, and then we wanted to go in and do the actual mixing ourselves. Like, we wanted to smell every single blend, every single mix that could possibly come out of a scenario. And we did. It took well over a year to develop the core collection. And when I say that these are not single origin scents, like, they are very delicately layered. They are very complex. We wanted notes that you just don't find in like your everyday candles. So it was very important to us that we were able to see what all of the possibilities were, essentially. So I guess we can go ahead and kind of chat a little bit about the scents. I want to start off with Husk because Husk was our first fully developed scent. This is, and also Husk, the vessel color is my favorite. I just think something about dark chocolatey browns I am loving right now. So like I said, if you have earthy tones in your home, olives, browns, creams, mushrooms, Husk is going to be such a beautiful addition. So it comes in 16 and 8 ounces. We do all of our scents in 2 different sizes. This is a 16 ounce. This is our oval vessel. And this is our 8 ounce. This color is our grass color. It's for our herbaria scent, which I'll chat a little bit about. But literally, I've got all of our inventory almost boxed up. So I don't have like every single, I'm going to include pictures obviously, but just for time's sake, I'm going to hold up like one or the other for the video. So Husk, like I said, was our first fully developed scent. Husk has notes of steamed milk, think like frothy vanilla and coconut. So steamed milk, toasted cardamom, and smashed coconut husk are the 3 main notes for this candle. This is the one that we kind of anticipated would be like the it girl. You know what I mean? Like the bestseller, because personally, I think when you smell this, there's nothing in it that you can hate, in my opinion. Now, if you're someone that doesn't like creamy, milky, frothy goodness, maybe not. But there's just something that is very, like, this is a year-round scent. You could burn this in the winter. It would smell just as good in summer. It's just so delicately perfect. Like I said, this was presented to me in the beginning, and I was like, yes, this is hands down. It was so easy to pick this scent. So yeah, if you like notes of musk, vanilla, coconut, milky, a little bit of mild spice with the cardamom, then Husk is definitely going to be the one for you. So next up we have Ultra Flora. This is in our bone vessel. This was our first fully developed vessel color. Very sleek, very chic, very neutral. Ultra Flora is my personal favorite scent. Ultra Flora was also one that we knew we had a little bit more of a challenge with, because not everyone is a floral person. I feel like it's a lot easier to lean more towards, you know, the soft and delicate scents like vanilla. However, florals are so expansive, and you know, like you could be a rose person, but obviously not necessarily like a lily. And so we had to be careful when we were testing all of these different florals. And what I said to myself, I was like, you know, I'm not typically a floral girly. However, I wear Le Labo's Rose 31 because it has heavier notes of a peppercorn in it. It's a very mild rose with a heavier note of peppercorn. And so I kind of wanted to take that approach with Ultra Flora. There are 3 main notes in Ultra Flora. The first is muguet, or lily of the valley, lily, which initially scared me because I'm not a big lily girl, but there is something very clean about this type of lily fragrance that we do use, that it just stood out to me, and it just layered so well and complemented the other scents that we were working on, kind of embedding in. Sweet violet is also a note in this. And lastly, we have, this is kind of where I was talking about having a specific note overpower a little bit more of those main notes, but petrichor. Petrichor is very heavy in this scent, and you will get this clean sensation on the back end of almost like a rainwater. And so it's not this obnoxiously sweet floral scent. You have these earthy and very clean notes that balance it out. And when I smelled this, I was like, when I tell you I cannot get enough of this scent, like I burned this when we fully developed this. I was burning this nonstop. It is still to this day my favorite. I think it is so hard to explain. And I fear a lot of people are going to hear floral and run from it. But when I say it is the cleanest, crispest, when spring rolls around, you're going to want to bathe in this. It is so, so good. But yeah, the rainwater and the petrichor really balance out those floral notes. And personally, I just think it's the most unique smelling candle I've ever come across. Okay, so next up we have Sueded Saffron. So Sueded Saffron, the vessel is slightly similar to the color of Husk, but you can see when we hold up side by side, they are a little bit different. This is our olive vessel. Sueded Saffron was our scent that we definitely wanted to have more like those traditional, what are known as like more masculine scents in the fragrance industry. So you're going to get heavy notes of saffron, worn leather, and split wood in Sueded Saffron. Now, Sueded Saffron was kind of like, we felt our odd man out. We felt like this was going to be our acquired taste scent because it's so beautiful. Like I personally, I love this. I burn all, like it's what's burning right now in my office. But we were like, okay, you know, this is cool. This is a really edgy scent. Probably not going to be for everyone. However, when we have done our trial phases and our testing phases, because we sent all of these fragrances out before deciding 100% if they were going to be a part of the core collection, and also in just kind of handing these off to friends and family, I'm not going to lie, Miss Sueded Saffron has been popping off. I actually just did our first wholesale delivery to one of our home stores that is in my city. And the owner was like, yep, this one's it. Like, this is my scent. This is amazing. This is, and there was someone else in the store and she came over and wanted to smell it. Also picked the same one. So Sueded Saffron may not be as big of an underdog as we initially thought it was going to be. But if you like those scents that are more leather forward, to me, When I smell this, it's like, by the way, this is our 16-ounce Sueded Saffron. Again, gorgeous. I love these just rich, like earthy tones. But to me, this is like sitting in a leather chair in a very luxe home. There's a touch of spice in this. We do have a mid-tone layer of like a charred star anise also in this fragrance. It's warm, it's spicy, you got a little bit of musk happening. Leather and saffron notes are definitely very like front forward in this scent. But I love this one. This was actually the one that I got 100% jurisdiction over because these are the scents that I tend to lean towards. When I was testing this in my home, I remember Will was coming home and he was like, ooh, I like what's going today. What is this scent? It just has this special nuance to it that I think anyone who tends to lean towards those specific notes will 100% love. Okay, last but not least on the roster, this is our final scent in the core collection, and it is called Silk Noir. Again, you're probably thinking, wow, is that the same color as Ultra Flora? They are close. They are very close. But this is our Dune vessel. It's a little bit more beigey. On camera right now, it is pulling super similar to Ultra Flora, but when you see it in person, it's got a little more of a peach undertone to it, a little bit more of a beigey color to it. So Silk Noir is actually a very dark fragrance despite the vessel that it comes in. We kind of struggle back and forth on the color with this because Silk Noir is a very rich and dark fragrance. However, the vessel doesn't necessarily present it in such a way. Could we potentially make some changes in the future? Maybe. But for right now, she's in our Dune vessel. So Silk Noir. Silk Noir is what I am describing as our gourmand scent. So if you are a sweet gourmand person, this is going to be the one for you. Heavy notes of cacao, musk, raspberry liqueur, and dark fruits. So you got some like plum notes in here. I will say the raspberry raises to the top. That's, to me, one of the first things that I smell, followed by that a little bit of that like sharp liqueur vibe. And then what I love about this scent is the cacao in it. It makes it so smooth. And I'm not typically like a gourmand person. I'm not typically super fruity when it comes to my scents, but this is so smooth. And I would 100% say if you lean towards sweeter scents, this is going to be the one that you're going to want to go with out of the lineup because it immediately hits you with smooth, sweet raspberry essence. So Silk Noir, again, very complex. It's hard for me. I hope on the scents that are harder for me to describe, that I feel like are more complex, you don't take them as me like brushing them off. But Silk Noir is very hard for me to describe because it is this sweet underlayer, because it has such a like dark richness to it, but the sweetness in it just balances it out. And like I said, I love that cacao like undertone like pulling through because I feel like it breaks up the dark fruit and the raspberry a little bit. Silk Noir is our gourmand. She is our sweet scent. So if you want something 100% that's going to fall into that category, Silk Noir. Next up, we have Herbaria. Herbaria is in our grass vessel. This is also the one I showed you earlier in our little 8-ounce. And this is a good opportunity to talk about how our vessels do have some variation in them because we do hand dye these with natural earth pigments. And if you get just a fraction too much of the color, it will turn out slightly darker, or vice versa. If you don't put enough in, it will be slightly lighter. So I think you can see that our 8-ounce here is slightly lighter than the 16-ounce. So you might experience some variation when ordering these, but that does tell you that we are literally making these and blending them and pouring them all by hand. But let's talk about Herbaria. Herbaria is in my opinion, if you just love citrus, if you love gardening, fresh herbs, this is going to be the one for you. So the notes in this are pomelo rind, charred rosemary, and really just a multitude of mixed herbs. So when you smell this, it's very juicy, it's very tangy. A lot of people also describe this scent as being on the sweeter side. I kind of think it balances out with like those herbs in this. To me, sometimes I think people mistake sharpness with sweetness. And to me, this is a little bit on the sharper side because with that pomelo, you know, it's almost like tart. Like it has this tart vibe to it. But if you just like, again, crisp, clean, to me, this is not too sweet. This is definitely not as sweet as Silk Noir. But again, fresh, clean, crisp. One thing I love about this is the pomelo in it. I love grapefruits. I love pomelo. I just love anything that's really, really tart. I'll just buy grapefruit juice and drink it. And so I absolutely love that note in this. The charred rosemary, again, adds more of that sharpness. Keep on the lookout. Like if some of you are super colorful and you're looking at our like color palette and our lineup and you're thinking like too earthy, maybe keep an eye out for this spring. But yeah, I love the color of our herbaria vessel. So again, if you love citrus, if you love herb, tangy, juicy, then this is going to be the one that you may want to try. So that is a roundup of our core collection. I feel like I went on a little bit longer than what I was going to. And I guess the last thing I kind of want to talk to you about is like our packaging, because I'm just so proud of our packaging. This was such a trial and error process. We went through 2 different designers before we found the right one to get our packaging and our branding down, and I'm so thankful to her. Her name's Paulina, and if you're watching, Paulina, I literally cannot say enough good things. We worked for over 6 months to develop this packaging and the design and the branding. And what's really cool about our logo, this is called our cardamom mark, and you might recognize me saying cardamom from Husk. So like I said, Husk was our first fully developed scent. And a main note in Husk is cardamom. And so what our designer did for our logo, which is, we call her the cardamom logo. I'll zoom in and I'll kind of show you guys a better close up. But the middle is actually a cardamom pod that she kind of secretly embedded into this design. And then the leaves that you see are cardamom leaves. They're based on sketchings from the actual cardamom plant and the leaves. And then the middle is the shape of a cardamom pod. Because when we were brainstorming what we wanted to do, a cardamom just kept coming up because Husk was such a huge inspiration for us in the beginning. And if you've ever seen a cardamom pod, you know that they're a little strange looking. And every sketch that she was doing, they were kind of coming out like, I mean, I'll just be honest, it can just look like droppings or like poop. So thank God she is such a talented designer, and somehow she did this amazing mock-up where it's just hidden. Like it's the shape of a cardamom pod and then the leaves. I'm just so proud of the design. Our just simple Parlour Candle logo here at the top. This inverted O is so understatingly beautiful. I just wanted to chat a little bit about our packaging. Each scent has its own special icon. So this is our Husk icon that was specifically developed. Ultra Flora has her own specific icon. So they all have their own unique icons, which I think just makes the packaging experience more special. The unboxing experience, this is the specific mark that you're buying for this specific scent. So yeah, I plan to hopefully, if you guys are interested in hearing a little bit more on how I started this and how we started from the ground up, our branding decisions, all that, I thought I would just sit down and kind of do a casual old school video and talk to you about things a little bit more in depth. But I think this is long enough. I think we've covered everything. The website launches this Tuesday. So honestly, probably the day this video is going to go up, October 15th at 10 a.m. And yeah, I'm super excited to bring these scents to you, this project that we've worked so hard on for so long. And yeah, like I said, there's more to come. We've already got another product in the works, which I'm really excited to share outside of candles. Like I said, this is going to eventually be like a full home fragrance brand. We just want to be diligent in our testing and our trials and our errors and feedback. And so we like to spend a while on products when developing. Really excited for the spring. That's when you're going to see some newness from us. We wanted to get holiday fragrances out, but it just didn't happen in time this year. So we thought it would be best to present to you our core collection. If it's something you're interested in the holidays, there are definitely some scents personally that I think would work for the holiday season. Husk and Sueded Saffron right off the bat already have natural spices in them, so they have that holiday like spicy essence to them. I hope we really narrowed this core collection down to fitting at least one scent that's going to be appealing to you. I'm so excited for you to see the website, to read a little bit more about, because I could go on and on and on talking about, ingredients and how we develop them and, so on and so forth. But I think you'll find we answered that on the website. And if you have any questions I didn't answer, feel free to leave them down below and I will get back with you guys on them. Definitely follow us on Instagram if you do have Instagram, because I already have the link there to the website where, and I might post this video like an hour before our website goes live, so some of you can get a head start. But if you enter in your email, you do get a discount code on your first purchase. So yeah, we have a couple of other things other than just candles. We have some merch and we also have candle care sets on there. So that's something to also check out. But I cannot thank you guys so much already for your feedback and your support. It has meant so much to me. I've been super nervous to announce this. Number one, because I know a lot of you, some people in the beginning expressed that they were disappointed that I wasn't going forward with a makeup line. And I'll tell you what, and a big inspiration and decision for not doing that is because, like I said, I've been hands-on 100% from the ground up with this. I don't feel like I could do that with a cosmetic company, because after working with Mob and launching with them, I worked directly with Mob Beauty's chemist, who was a co-founder of MAC Cosmetics. He has literally created some of the most iconic and high-performing cosmetics in the industry. And it's like, if I can't have that, you know what I mean? Like, I can't still Vic for my own cosmetic brand. Then, I want the best. Like, I want the best and I want to be hands-on, and cosmetics are just like a whole other realm. I felt like it was time to push myself creatively outside the box. And my husband's always said, like, you have this entrepreneur spirit. My dad's side of the family, every single person's an entrepreneur. And I just felt like it was a calling and it was something that I wanted to pursue. And it just seemed like the right time. When I say right time, I was not 28 weeks pregnant when I was planning this, obviously, like I am now. It took a little bit longer than expected, but I wanted everything to be perfect, fingers crossed. And yeah, so that's, I kind of wanted to explain my reasoning and journey for this new project, and why, some of you were surprised when it wasn't makeup related. I wanted to give a little explanation as to why I didn't really feel like that was my route to go on. I've rambled on way too much. Everything will be linked down below, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.